only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We will bring you the news and reviews of your favorite brews. My name is Dan Baker. I am joined, as usual, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and, of course, the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
I somehow almost forgot that was your lead-in. I almost went back to the old word that we haven't been able to use in like 7 years.
Not allowed to say that. You'll get sued.
I mean, the company would get sued. I'm fine. So, hey, cool. Have fun getting that blood from that stone, people who would sue us. Hey, we're back. Hi. Thank you for sticking with us during another kind of semi-hiatus. But, hey, that is kind of just how life goes. Nothing's wrong, per se. We're just, living life and letting our guests run their businesses because that's what they do. And I'm very happy when people get to talk to us about their businesses and about the beer world. And that is, tonight is no exclusion to that because we have joining us from a brewery I've heard nothing but great things about, and I am dying to find out the whole story. We have joining us from Truth Beer Co.
Hey, all. I'm Dave Timblin from Truth Beer Co. I'm a co-owner, one of the brewers.
All right. Dave, thank you for joining us, man.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. There's going to be so much that we're going to talk about, and we got to spread the word on Truth Beer Co. Can we just say spread the truth? Is that like a thing I'm allowed to say?
Wah wah.
I think I'm all right with it.
All right, cool. There we go. We're spreading some truth here. Tiny bit of housekeeping for you listening along to this. Of course, you can follow along if you are not already doing so. If you have Instagram or Threads, you can follow us at Beerbusters. If you are still using the Facebook, we are facebook.com/BeerbustersPodcast, or, just type it into the search bar in the Facebook app. Website-wise, beerbusterspodcast.com. You can add /shop to that before you hit enter if you would like, and see some cool merch that Wayne designed. We have some videos that are still up on YouTube where we are Beer Busters Podcast. And of course, there is patreon.com/beerbusters, where as little as $1 a month gets you access to all the cool behind the scenes stuff, and some other goodies, punishment videos and such from the before times. It's well worth the price of admission, if I do say so myself. And of course, thank you to the patrons who are already there.
I would like to just interject, because you said to search on Facebook for Beer Busters, which is valid, but I would say don't ask Meta AI about Beer Busters on Facebook.
Oh, that's right.
I'm tired of every search bar and every app now being an AI interface.
AI is...
End of rant.
Well, I mean, AI is furthering the climate change crisis that we're in because it takes so much goddamn power to run one AI service, and they're all starting their own fucking... Sorry.
I wonder if it's more than Bitcoin mining. That was a big thing a little while ago. Yeah.
Because think
what podcast is this? Wait.
I know, right? Yeah. Crypto Busters?
Hot button topic.
AI
I know,
Busters?
right?
Yeah, jeez. It's just, what a time to be alive, right? But that's why we drink, and that's why there's beer.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, among other things. Well, why don't we start with, speaking of beer, what are we all drinking? Dave, let's start with you. What are you drinking?
I already went out to the brewery today, so I just grabbed a 4-pack of RC Pilsner.
Perfect.
That's what I got for now.
Nice, for now.
Other than that, my basement has some really old poor man's beer.
Oh,
nice.
Which, I got a 4-pack of Poltzinator from a year ago, I think. That might be all right.
I might have a can of that hidden somewhere in one of my fridges. I should take a look.
You probably
for that.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, sure I do.
Yeah. I know I have... oh, no, I let somebody else drink my last Tamave. Oh, that was so good. Oh,
You just need to come back up.
I do, but I was happy that I could give that person that one because he had never had poor man's before. I'm gonna jump in next. I am drinking Dust and Stone, the Schwarzbier from our friends at Human Robot. I had a 4-pack of that my wonderful girlfriend brought home for me. It is delicious. I love the beer.
It's lovely.
It's so good, so good. Steph, what do you got? What are you drinking?
Well, I was drinking Happiness Machine from Wild Ale Beer Works, but that apparently did not last very long. So now I'm drinking Cerveza Negra from Source Brewing. Which, breaking news, they will be opening their 3rd location in Manayunk in 2025, which is very exciting.
Oh, that is really cool. Good for them.
Very cool. Very cool.
Wayne, how
And
about you? What do you got?
Since for once we're recording on a Friday and not a Monday or Tuesday night, I'm actually drinking a beer. I have, and this is going to sound weird. This is Attic Brewing, which obviously Attic is great and wonderful, but it is their Bad Nina Pale Ale, which actually Jess bought because she's big into the hazies. I'm not into the hazies. And I bought 2 4-packs. I bought like their Dunkel and a dark lager, and I drank all of it. And this is all that's left. So I asked her if I could drink it. So the thing I want to say about this beer, though, is that I also like it, and Jess likes it. And there's not a lot of beers that my wife and I both like because we have very different tastes in beers, because it has a little bit of the hazy quality, but it also has a little bit of like the old school, like West Coasty. And they just call it a pale ale, and it is a bit more like a pale ale than an IPA. So I'm actually really pleased with this beer, even though I'm only drinking it because it's all I had.
I love that the West Coast hop profile is like in right now, because I'm drinking way more hoppy beers than I have in a very, very long time, because I love that West Coast hop profile so much. I'll still take a lager over anything else, but a West Coast Pilsner is very hot right now. I know Poor Man's brewed ones. Have you guys at Truth done a West Coast Pilsner yet?
I was just going to mention that we just released a collab with Four Man's. It was West Coast Pilsner just 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh, then that's the one I had when I was there last week. Yes, it's so good.
Nice.
It's so good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I support that.
When you do a collab at somebody's place, I was mostly Ryan at Poor Man's, but I was there.
You were in the room.
That counts.
Yeah. I pulled out the grain, I believe.
It's an important part.
It's not easy work.
It's the facial part of the brew process.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You get the nice steam coming off.
Mm-hmm. And it always smells so lovely. Like, you try to focus on those things and not how disgustingly sweaty you are. And, for me, like, all the upper body strength I don't want to use. You're like, well, I'm getting a facial and it smells good. So.
And in the end, there will be beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a few weeks, there will be beer.
That helps.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess speaking of Poor Man's, why don't we start there? And for anyone who may not know, yes, there is a tie to Poor Man's besides being geographically relatively close to each other. You were at Poor Man's for a little bit, right, Dave?
Yeah. Those guys, they really helped us get started. And when we signed the lease on our Akron location, started building stuff there, basically. And Ryan was for Calgary, so I started as a brewer there. I think maybe around the same time we signed our lease, with the intention of being there for about 6 months to 8 months until we got open. And it was a full year until we got open, and I still stayed there. I think another. I'm trying to think of when I was there for a little over 2 years, other than the 6 to 8 months. But it was a great experience, just learning so much from those guys, and then we've gotten so much help and just become great friends as well.
That's awesome.
But it was great to get that pro experience.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good crew there. It's a good crew to learn from. Especially, I mean, every beer I've ever had from them is just out of the park. It's amazing. So I'm sure that's a good crew to have on your side when you're starting. So was that your first professional brewing job?
Yeah, that was my first and my only before Truth.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
My co-owner and co-owner's name is also Ryan, so it gets a little confusing. But there's too many Ryans in beer, so you just got to go with it.
And Josh's.
Yeah.
Yes. But we were homebrewers together for the better part before we opened Truth. But that was the main part of our experience, which basically counts for nothing when you're becoming a pro. It had some ideas of what we wanted to do recipe-wise. That's about all it translates.
Right.
Now, Dan kind of joked about the geographic closeness, but your original location and Poor Man's OG location were quite geographically close. How was, I know I used the odometer one time. It was just over a mile apart.
I think it was, close to 2 miles maybe. But it's 4 minutes maybe with a stoplight or a couple stoplights.
And even on the same side of 272.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, our first 2 collabs we did with them are called Common Road. and because we were on the same road,
Yeah.
it was an easy name.
I like that name, Common Road.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Well,
But
and
yeah.
your original location was unique to say the less. Perhaps slightly difficult to locate at first, but you were right on 272, but down a bit of a incline and in the backside of a building. So I'm curious what attracted you guys to that original location.
I was looking at spots for probably like a year and a half, just like anywhere we thought we could afford. And that's mostly well, it's on a main road. It's got a lot of space, and we can afford it. And that's what we went with for there, which made it a little challenging. There's definitely we had the people would call from the upper parking lot and just be like, "Where are you? I know I'm supposed to be here." There's oh no, you just got to drive or walk down the steep, scary looking driveway to the right.
I have
got that
sure,
a lot of you guys are hard to find.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
I think-
it was exciting when you could finally pull the trigger and go to a new spot. Although
But
it
I
was
think you do
nice humble
find
beginnings.
some of the coolest beers down dark alleys or scary
Yeah.
unpaved roads. I
Yeah.
mean, that's generally that's where you're going, you're probably going to have some really good beer.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it was unique, and we had people that really liked to show up, every week and just like loved the space and everything else. But the move to Lancaster was something we looked to do for a while. We had thought we might, open a second tap room at some point, but then we ended up just moving actually everything out of Akron into Lancaster.
Oh, wow. So how did that work, getting the brewing system up the driveway?
Well, it went up the same way it came down, which was on the back of my pickup truck.
Oh no!
Just kind of strapped in with some, a good bit of, what are they called? Ratchet straps.
Oh yeah.
But our brew system, it's real cobbled together kind of thing. We found once again just because the price was right.
Right.
We were looking for a little while, and I think I found it maybe Craigslist, or maybe it was a Facebook Marketplace thing or something like that, or actually a brewing site. But it was a lady in Maryland who had never used it, had thought she was going to open a brewery, was going to sell it, and it's a 5-barrel 2-vessel system, like kettle and mash tun. And it has no special thing to it. It's basically a real big homebrew type thing. We put some main jet burners under the kettle, and we had a false bottom kind of fixed for the mash tun and made it work for a while here.
So you said Craigslist in the mix there. I don't know, you may not have gotten this from there, but do people sell brewing equipment like this on Craigslist?
I don't know. I think it might have been a pretty random find.
I was gonna say, yeah. I can't imagine
but
potential brewery owners going through on Craigslist and being like, "Yeah, brew system."
But definitely not that many.
Yeah.
I did. I seem to remember finding it. I think on Craigslist, but I'm not sure. I probably looked there not that often and just really happened upon it and was like, "Oh wow, this is pretty cheap."
Yeah. I also thought it was funny when you said a woman bought it, thought she was going to open a brewery and never used it. Reminds me of when you buy a car and it was owned by a grandmother and she only used it to go down the street to the grocery store. So it's in great shape.
Definitely. Well, it wasn't in great shape, but it was in workable shape after a little bit of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
I would
cool.
tell people how much we paid for it, and they think I left off a zero.
I left off a zero. That's funny.
But that's how you have to do it. You have to you don't want to jump all in and spend money you don't have and start with a deficit, I feel like you have to have humble beginnings and put the work into it and, naturally grow, especially right now with, how especially small breweries are just closing left and right, so I think it's smart to just take your time and do it in a financially comfortable way. I think that's smart. And it'll make you appreciate the amazing brew system you'll have years from now.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Yeah, it was partially out of necessity because we didn't have money and we didn't really know anybody that had money. um, but we didn't want to, go to a bank and try and get, 6 million to open a brewery. It just didn't feel like the right way to go about it. For us, it's, personal choice, obviously. There's plenty of people that can get big loans and do well and do fine with it. But yeah.
I also would imagine you don't want to get like a top of the line, huge state of the art brew system that has like a steep learning curve when you're just trying to get like starting. Like, having a pretty much, bare bones system, I think is helpful in that regard too.
Yeah, that was definitely helpful. That just kind of stuff that wasn't real hard to learn, especially having put in the time at Poor Man's with a, bigger but similar system.
Yeah.
For what they had then was pretty much the same idea. They had, electric in their kettle instead of propane, but it was still just a big open kettle and the same kind of mash tun. Yeah, you had a fancy new system they got and just got online about when I quit there. So that was great.
Perfect. So what was it that inspired you and Ryan, your Ryan, not Poor Man's Ryan? What inspired you guys to
they're kind of both my Ryan. I don't know.
But to open Truth, why put yourself through it?
Yeah, it's just something we love the brewing side of it. We love the science, the art, coming out with beers and just putting them out there for people to enjoy, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And that's the major part. And for all that the Poor Man's guys told us that we, maybe shouldn't open a brewery. We still, they knew that we were pretty determined to do it. Because honestly, when Brian was homebrewing for a little while before I decided to, asked him if I could, join him, basically. Yeah, he was trying to get me to help him for a little while. And from the very beginning, I was just like, no, I think we should do this as a living. And, 9.5 years later, we actually opened a brewery. But I had those grand designs from the very beginning, I think. Just kind of wanted to do it.
And you did it.
Yeah, we got there eventually.
Yeah, for sure. So you have a 5-barrel brew house that you're working with right now. What is your fermentation space like? How many beers do you guys have on tap at one time?
We have right now we have 3 5-barrel unit tanks, so we're a little limited with how much we can do at once, but we've been able to keep up so far. Right now we have 10 of our own beers on tap, and we have a Poor Man's guest tap, which actually is Tamave. And we have, I think, space to do 2 or 3 more in our tap system right now.
And at the new spot, do you guys offer food now? Are there food trucks there?
We have a menu of mostly like cold sandwiches, and then we have soft pretzels, chips and salsa, that kind of stuff. And actually starting in July, we're going to start having food truck Fridays, we're calling it. Pretty much every Friday we're going to have a different food truck, and probably some other days too. It's a full-time job trying to book food trucks, but I'm working my way through that. And some Saturdays people are coming in, some other days, but yeah, we have food there, and we're going to be doing some food truck stuff as well.
You left off the most important menu item that I saw when I was looking at the website earlier: the Dino Nuggets for the kids.
You gotta have them.
Of course.
That's amazing.
Would you serve them to me as a man in his late 30s?
Our kids' meals are available to anyone. It's still the same price,
Right,
it's still the same amount of food.
I'm a kid at heart. That's perfect. I can't get a Happy Meal, but I can get Dino Nuggets.
I can't guarantee you what the bartender's not. Right. I can't guarantee you the bartender's not judging you. But
all right, good. Well, I'd like to assume that they are, so that's good.
I just always assume bartenders are judging me no matter what.
Yeah. No, I was looking at it. I'm glad to hear there's the food trucks that you guys are going to incorporate too. But I also appreciate that it's a smaller menu. You get to focus on that stuff while also not taking too much focus away from the beer, because the beer, I'm sure in your eyes, is number one. It's the reason you're getting people in there. Now, assuming this were to go well, or say food trucks are not a viable solution, do you see this expanding at any point to have a bigger menu anywhere?
Yeah, we've even done some like specials and stuff already.
Ooh.
We have a real small kitchen area at the tap room. So it's a little limited, just on like, we're not going to probably put in a flat top grill or fryers at any point in our little kitchen area.
Yeah.
But we've had like some, specials of like a pulled pork sandwich or stuff like that we can have kind of make ahead of time and have there and be easy. And a lot of times we have just like the bartender will be the one that is going back to get the food and come back out as well.
Yeah.
It's only, it's pretty to be able to see what's going on still. From the front to the back. It's a little bit small area for in the back of the house there.
I don't know. Don't count out a small kitchen. If there's one thing I've learned is that breweries can do amazing things with small kitchens. Some of the best food I've had at breweries was from very tiny kitchens, and I just don't understand the logistics of it, but it's possible.
Nice.
Yeah,
We had on.
Yeah.
We were up at Wishful Thinking in Bethlehem, and tiny little kitchen, but they're busting out those pizzas, and they are insane. Some of the best pizzas you can get in this area, I think. And yeah,
I have experienced bread pizza up at Stickman years ago, but I've had sort of a taste of his pizzas, and oh man, it was just an experience for sure.
Yeah, so good. So I feel like you guys need to find your food niche and like just focus on that, and maybe don't try it. I mean, keep the Dino Nuggets. Don't get me wrong, but
maybe that's the niche.
Yeah. Just dino-shaped everything.
Everything shaped like dinosaurs.
I mean, I'd support that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Dino nuggets and 35 dipping sauces. I don't know.
Oh, I love a variety of dipping sauces.
I've started, me in. Oh, yeah. I love them so much, I've started telling people that I'm a very saucy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They also do make vegan Dino Nuggets, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Is it was the Morning Star company or whatever? Is it them? I feel like
Impossible?
Yeah, the Morning
I think it's
Impossible.
Impossible.
Okay.
Jess and I get a lot of Morningstar fake chicken patties. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I find that more, and maybe we're getting older, but I sometimes go to breweries not just because I want to drink a beer, but like if I'm craving a hoagie, I'm like, I'm going to go to Poor Man's to get a hoagie. Oh, and they happen to have really great beer too, So I think having that little, like, we make great pizza and we have beer. We make great hoagies and we have beer. Like, I feel like the food is more. Oh my God, that's right. We were just out in the Chicago area earlier this week, and we went to Sound Growler Brewing, death metal, awesome place, but they have tacos on their menu, and they are some of the best freaking tacos I've ever had in my life. They have all the meat options, of course, but they had the vegetarian was potato and like onion and pepper, and that's what I had, and they were so good. And you had the
one with that usually comes with pineapple. Al pastor.
Al pastor,
It was a vegan Al pastor. That was freaking amazing. And like, if I lived in this area, I would come here for tacos for dinner. They also happen to make beer, so I don't know. It's an interesting shit. Yeah, $13. I got 3 tacos, rice, beans, and an entire bowl of chips and salsa. 2 different kinds of salsas.
Oh wow!
It was so much food.
That's nice.
I'm convinced people in the Midwest just have much larger appetites than I do, because I thought I ate a lot, and then out there, oh my God, I've never been so full in my life.
That's funny. That's probably true.
Gourmet Dino Nuggets.
Gourmet Dino Nuggets. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if we found our niche exactly with food, but that's maybe on the right track.
I feel like you'll find it. Was it Cartel? Was he the one that said he wanted to have a New England lobster roll? And yes. I think he wanted New England and what's the other one?
I don't remember. One's butter and one's mayo. One's like a salad and one's just like buttered lobster. Because I love a lobster roll, so I was like asking like, what's the real lobster roll? But yeah,
you gotta be inspired and find it.
Yeah.
I saw they had a lobster roll truck over at Cartel in the last couple of weeks.
The cousins from Maine? Those are, oh my gosh, they're so popular. When the one is at Oakbrook and Reading, you can't even get near the place.
Wow.
I hope they're actually buying beer too, that this is worth it. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, people go crazy for those lobster rolls. And we've mentioned your new location is in Lancaster, but do you want to tell the people where in Lancaster your new tap room is?
Sure. Yeah. It's 928 North Prince Street. And we were just talking about Cartel, so you can mention that It's a former cartel building, if you know where that was, if you guys are ever there. We have basically the same exact setup now, with the brewery back in the garage, which is almost online, and the tap room in the front. And yeah, it's just as soon as you come in the city, pretty much. So it's pretty easy to get to. There's a parking lot across the street from us also that's just available to use. Kind of have a deal with the building next door.
Oh, nice.
So it's easy to get there, easy to park. And yeah, we're liking how the new tap room's been shaken out.
And if you're going to the train station, you could theoretically walk to the tap room from the train station. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
yeah, I
pretty
have.
close.
I think last Friday, my first guy in was the guy who had just flown from, I think, Miami to Philly and took the train from Philly to here and didn't know what time it was, and he was just looking for beer.
Oh, that's great.
So he got there just slightly after noon.
He was in the same time zone the entire time.
That's
I guess
true.
that might not be why he didn't know what
I
time
think it was just too early, and too much
Yeah,
travel. Yeah.
Too much going on. That's pretty
And
cool.
you guys have an outdoor space too, right?
Yeah, we have it's kind of the area is just in front of our building, so it's on the Prince Street side. Some picnic tables set up and just kind of just like a little stone area in the front that we were able to put together.
It's nice. It's always nice to have a beer outside.
I did have a question. So I was looking at the website earlier, which is how I found the Dino Nuggets. Yay. I have to give you credit for, and also I'm a little confused by the multiple Henry David Thoreau quotes. Is there like a tie-in?
Well, the main one is where we came up with the name.
Okay.
And that one is, which I also usually make my Ryan say it to people because I get it wrong sometimes, but I'm pretty sure it is rather than money, rather than love, rather than fame, give me truth.
Very
and
close.
That's kind of where we came up to it. Oh, yeah. Are you reading it? Can you fact check that?
I was looking at it.
Yeah.
I mean, the sentiment's the same. Rather than love, than money, than fame, give me truth.
Okay, I put too many words in there. Yeah.
Well, that's why you're not Henry David Thoreau.
That's right.
Oh, I could have sworn I saw a different quote on there, but as I look at it, it's just the same quote twice. But still, that's cool. It's a good tie-in.
Okay, good.
And a lot of people may not, know who Henry David Thoreau is. That's cool. I mean, is it like, I guess, of all the things, and I love that it is derived from that, but like, why Thoreau?
I'm not really sure. We were honestly searching for a name, and I was like, I'm not even like deeply into reading Thoreau, but I had a little bit, and was just kind of looking for cool quotes and like to see if I could find something, and just came across that, and I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I also kind of really like the sentiment of the quote itself.
Yeah, it works. It's cool. It's poignant, and I don't think I've thought of Henry David Thoreau since like college.
Right, exactly. Yeah, high school, college, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
I love that story was that simple and not like, oh, well, I went to college for literature and da 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 da, or I was
spent 6 months on Walden Pond. No,
Yeah.
I found a cool quote.
exactly.
Yeah, our dad and stepmom were at Walden Pond when they were in Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
Remember they were talking about that recently?
Nice.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did forget about that. Oh god, I had a question. I lost the train of thought. It's gone. It'll come back to me.
Nope. Train's left the station.
If it has, then just go to truth.
Perfect.
That actually
it's walkable.
That's what I needed. That's what I needed. So okay,
That's there.
we can obviously cut this out if you want. We can not address it if you want. But one of the things I saw on one of the Reddit forums that was announcing the opening of the location.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. So the internet is notorious for misinterpreting things. Of course, go figure. So a lot of people were like, oh, so truth, like Trump, right? Because Truth Social. Not the case, right? Henry David Thoreau is very different than Donald fucking Trump.
Yeah, we had it first. Also,
Oh, that's true.
That's
a
true.
very
I mean,
good
yeah.
point.
it was a disturbing day.
Oh,
when he was like,
God.
I have a new social media, and we're like, no.
No.
Oh my god. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Wow. Yeah, that had to
Hoping
suck.
that, goes down in flames soon, and we can just have not people thinking about that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people don't talk about it much anymore anyway. Like when it
No,
first came
it's-
out, but now.
Well, now it's just a joke because it's just the open money laundering that somehow is completely legal.
Yeah.
billions of dollars of valuation, but they lost $100 million last quarter. Sure, that works.
That's how Wall Street works.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, just takes a good accountant.
It is. I mean,
I've heard.
Speaking of that, though, it is kind of a shame when like you come across a name for your brewery or even a beer or something that's like really cool and really works, and then something else comes along with the same name that's like obviously like not something you want to be associated with. Like that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it's just like best. I mean, it takes it and it just convolutes the whole message of it. Like this is a great, truthful, wonderful message that is all about unity and not wanting more than just what's in front of you and the absolute truth. And this dickhead comes along.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still a great name for a brewery.
It is, absolutely.
Truth Beer Co.
Especially knowing where it comes from. That's cool. I mean, how many other breweries are based off of any kind of like poetry or literature? Like, it's not many.
Or more than we know because we just don't know the references.
Yeah,
that's true.
It could be.
I honestly, had you not credited Thoreau on the website, I would not know that was a Thoreau quote.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for reminding me that he exists.
I had to Google how to spell his last name because I couldn't remember. Because I got the most amazing shot of the four of us on the screen, and I got the look on your face right before you were like, "But why Thoreau?" So I'm like, "That's going to be on social media."
Nice.
So that's the social media post for this episode right now.
Nice.
Very cool.
So you said you have you've got what 10 beers on of your own and the Poor Man's Guest Tap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the guest tap. We have 10 beers. Well, one's the collab also, but
But yeah, okay.
Sort of ours.
So like, is there?
Our own, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the menu now on the website. So you mentioned the pills that you're drinking, but there's the Remember When, which is an Imperial West Coast. The Modern America Dream, which is dry hopped West Coast IPA. No Problemo, a West Coast Pilsner. And Steph, you mentioned the West Coast style earlier, the hop profile. So is that kind of like what you guys wanted to do at Truth? Is that like what you really enjoy and you wanted to offer to the masses?
I guess I would say at our core, both me and my co-owner Ryan are just hop heads, and we love doing IPAs. And we're like, we want the list to have something for everyone, but we're always going to be IPA heavy in probably what we do. So West Coast, I love a good West Coast, and we love hazies too. I'm still unapologetically on the hazy train.
Drink what you like, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Get off.
Nah, drink what you like. I've spent a lot of time knocking people for what they drink, and I was a real jerk for doing it. Drink what you like. I don't like it. That just means there's more in the world for you to drink.
Exactly. Like I said, we'll probably always have our Pilsner on. We'll probably always have another light option at least. We always have we have a Tiny Tart series, which is kind of our sour fruited beer that we always have on some version of. So we like to, try and keep it eclectic, but we're usually going to be the IPA heavy place.
Perfect. I am curious about the Tiny Tart, tangerine blackberry. That's a combo I don't think I ever would have thought to put together, but I really want to try that.
Yeah, it turned out pretty nice. That's the third one we've done so far, basically.
Is the reception for those good? Like, I guess, like, does it sell fast? Might be. I don't doubt that it's good beer, and I don't doubt that people like it. But I'm curious how many people actually order it, because I feel like when I see people out at a bar, especially when there are good IPAs and lagers and Kolsch's and whatever, the sours aren't really the star anymore, and a lot of people that I go out to breweries with will just look right past those, and I've started doing that too. So maybe this is just me projecting. Who knows?
But yeah, it's I think it's something I thought would go quicker than it does. Just kind of on maybe it's kind of a few years ago, 5 years ago, maybe it would have gone quicker than it does now. But it goes through spurts though too. So like some random night it'll be the best seller just because a couple of people tried it and they really loved it, But usually it's pretty far down the list of what sells.
I mean, that's honestly kind of nice and refreshing to hear that can be the top seller for any given night. Because usually it is just some kind of IPA, which nothing against an IPA, but I don't know. I feel my heart is warm knowing that people will still go for a tart every now and then, and that can be your best selling beer of the night. That's cool. I like hearing that.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, and think about the time of year. I mean, it is really warm right now, and sometimes people want something that's a little more refreshing. and maybe that tap would be an imperial stout if we were in the middle of winter. Like there is still something to be said about, some styles are more seasonal for the beer drinker. Like not everyone will drink a Doppelbock in the middle of June or July like we will,
I say I can go downstairs and get one right now.
I know. I said that because we were all talking about it. I think some people do still think of those types of beers as summertime beers. So it's nice to have that, especially for someone that's not a beer drinker.
Yeah.
Do you offer other alcoholic beverages besides beer at Truth?
We do have like canned cocktails that we have as well. We haven't gotten into like having wine yet. We haven't gotten into doing many mixed drinks, although we've done a couple like specials on those. But yeah, mainly our thing is having canned cocktails available.
Ooh, so
it's nice to have that option for the non-beer drinkers.
Yeah. So I have to ask if you've done the mixed drinks on your own, whose liquor do you use?
So far, we've used Hidden Still.
Okay.
I think they're based in Hershey. But yeah, so far we've used them. We're not, we like their stuff for sure.
Yeah.
We're just not. We might try some other stuff too.
Yeah. No, I'm just always curious about that because as much as I love beer, I'm becoming more of a liquor kind of guy and cocktails and mixed drinks. So I just always kind of like nerd out a little about that in my head. I love Hidden Still. They're great.
Nice.
Could you make a good beer cocktail with the sour?
Probably, yeah. Like the one, I guess we really only did one so far, and it was like a beer margarita. We used just basically like some lime, and then the tequila and our Kolsch, and kind of like made that over ice and stuff like that. It turned out pretty good. I think that's the only one we've done so far.
I do also just want to mention, as I was scrolling through their website, I was looking at the beers and I thought I was at the food section and I saw Juice Carton and I was like, do they sell juice boxes? That's the name of a beer, which is a cool name for an easy beer.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah,
that's that beer is probably 8 or 9 years old from the first time we brewed it as homebrewers. That was one of our ones that we thought we were going to perfect and have as our like flagship. And, one of those things kind of worked out where it is kind of our flagship beer is all was on. And, it wasn't perfect when we started, but it's gotten back to where we want it now after a few turns through the brew house.
Nice.
That's one thing that's great about being a brewer is you can always look to tweak and perfect things every time you brew them. So even if you're brewing a beer that you've brewed so many times, there's still that challenge to like make it even better because there's so many variables that go into brewing a beer, from milling the grains all the way to finishing the fermentation. So it's you talked about the art of it earlier, but and the science, but I think a lot of brewers are also like perfectionists when it comes to mastering exactly the way. And even if it's not, it may still be a good beer, but you just have these ideas of how to tweak it and change it and just make it evolve.
For sure, yeah, that is definitely something we do all the time. We even are discussing whether or not want to try a like totally new yeast and juice carton, which we might do on a small scale first, but making even a change that big just to make it better, hopefully.
Yeah, cool. And then, of course, the challenge is once you perfect the recipe, although you never really perfect it, is the consistency every time you brew it, too. That's a separate challenge in and of itself. Yeah.
For sure,
or you can be like the breweries that never brew the same beer twice.
I was just going to mention that I think consistency is a good mark of a good brewer, a good brewery, is being able to do that.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure some people brew the different things all the time because they want to, and some people might do it because they just do that
because they can't do that otherwise. I mean, that is a good point. Like if a brewery has a solid flagship that's been around for a while, that's a pretty good sign that like they're competent brewers because they can make that beer pretty consistently.
Been open 6 months. We've been open 6 months and we've had 400 different styles of beer. Why? How? What are you doing wrong?
That's something I learned, and as a great example is that Poor Man's, because they're obviously they make great beer, but they make the same beer when they want to make it the same way. It's the same way, and it comes out the same. And there's no one that'll taste it and be like, oh, this is, something's different here, if they didn't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said
that's
earlier,
very true.
that's I think that's the perfect crew to get started with on a pro system. Like, that's just amazing. They are, and the word's getting out on them, and I'm so happy about it. But for years, they were just the hidden gem of, I would argue, the entire state. It's just amazing to see, and I love that you got your professional brewing start with them, which kind of makes me wonder, in your home brewing time, like what was your, I guess probably IPAs, since you're a hophead. Was that mostly what you brewed as a home brewer? Okay. Did you get to...
Yeah, we did a lot of IPAs.
Okay. Did you get to use any of your recipes on their system or anything like that?
At Poor Man's, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't do anything exactly. I think a little, like, I had some input on some of the stuff we came up with there.
Yeah.
For sure. And there was a couple of times where it was just like, yeah, just basically write a recipe and give it to me, and then if we need to tweak a couple of things, we'll do it. But otherwise, we're going to make this.
Yeah.
Which was fun, obviously, too. Even just to have them, especially Ryan, have the trust.
Yeah.
That I would come up with something that would work, and that their customers would enjoy as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You gotta please the customers with that. But yeah, I still think it's a great crew to start with. And I really want to try a lot of your beers now, but I want to try, the Pilsner and the Kolsch just to see, Yeah.
I'm not even a hazy guy, but I want a juice carton.
Yeah, I mean, I would try that too,
Well, yeah, you guys got to make the trip to Poor Man's. You can swing down to Lancaster and see us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to get them to come up this way all the time, but now that we record on Zoom, they are very comfortable in their Philly homes.
Yep. Within
you can
the
take
city
the train.
Could take the train.
That's true. You literally
the train's
could take
very
the
close
train
to me
and walk to Truth.
Yeah, I would do that. The train's
go.
very close to me.
Actually, yeah, I
There
can
you
just
go.
jump on at 30th
Why have
Street.
we never thought about that?
Yeah, no, why?
I don't know.
I'll jump on at 30th Street. Wayne, you jump on at Roxborough, I guess is where you get on?
Well, there's a station here at East Falls. I don't
yeah.
know if that line will get me to Lancaster, but it'll get me to somewhere I could probably transfer to Lancaster.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's
why
really
did we
not?
think of that?
It's not that expensive to go from Philly to Lancaster and back.
Yeah.
I really should have thought about it.
go.
When we had the Eagles parade down here, I had friends from Reading who had to go to Lancaster to take a train to Philly.
But that's so stupid.
Soon we will have the train back in Reading.
I've been hearing that story for 20 years.
Yeah,
No.
when we recorded at the station, however long ago we were talking about
No.
that. That was before
Pete
COVID.
Buttigieg is in charge now, and he's going to make it happen.
Well, if anybody is going to, it's going to be him.
Well,
I
and
agree.
it's funny that you mentioned that. I believe the plan is to use that as the station again,
Oh, good.
which means Saucony Creek would be the brewery and the restaurant at the literal train station.
station.
For a second, my brain went to what? They're going to kick Saucony out of there?
No,
No,
because
no.
they renovated that whole
Yeah.
station
And
when they
it's
opened
beautiful.
the brewery. That was like part of like the city helped pay for it because it's like a historical landmark and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I used to take when I first moved to Philly, I still had an apartment up in Reading, and I used to take a bus from Philly to Reading for the weekends. And now that they stopped running that line, I would have to take a bus to Bethlehem and then come back to Reading. It was like 3 hours. Ridiculous. And the train's the same thing. The tracks are there. The tracks are there and the stations are there. Like, there's no reason.
Well, the story I heard with the Reading Railroad is that like it's owned, or part of the track is owned by a private company somewhere, or like a private family, and they have no interest in selling or doing anything with it. So it just goes generation to generation. I could be mixing up a lot of different things. It's very possible, but that's what I seem to remember.
But the fact remains, the line from Philly to Lancaster is completely operational.
Yes.
So
Yeah, exactly. So that is operational. I could go get a ticket right now.
we can go to Truth. We can go to Poor Man's. We can go to Cartel. We can go to Mad Chef, and you can get a chicken sandwich.
I know.
Oh
You're
my.
not,
Yeah,
you
there's
can't have the chicken.
Yeah.
It's not red meat. I thought you just weren't eating red meat.
What, me? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you.
I said, yeah, I know, not no.
Oh, I thought you said all I heard was no. I
Oh,
was like,
no,
when-
yeah,
when-
I know. Or
When would
maybe
you turn down a
there was
chicken sandwich that Francisco
there
made?
was a good chance I was also saying no to the dog who's here trying to jump up on me.
That's fair.
Oh, and if you're looking for a chicken sandwich, though, also, I mean, I love Mad F. Don't get me wrong, great guys, great food. But about a block from us is Route 66 in Lancaster, Lancaster, and it's one of the best like chicken sandwiches I've ever had. Nashville hot chicken, or you can get tandoori chicken, or I forget what else.
You're saying so many magic
chicken
words
masala
right
chicken.
now.
There's there, yeah.
What's the name of this place?
So
Route
good.
66?
Route 66. Yeah, it's literally like you walk out our door and look to the right, and you can see it. It's on the end of the block from our tap room. So it's on Prince Street, Prince Street and Liberty, I think.
It's getting bookmarked. Thank you for the recommendation.
So it sounds like we're
No
doing
problem.
a beer and chicken sandwich day in Lancaster.
Oh, darn.
Dan's going to start a Nashville hot chicken podcast.
Don't act like I haven't thought about it.
I'm sure you have.
You can, that wouldn't work for you. There are flights that we can take from Harrisburg directly to Nashville. And I told
wow.
Rich about it. And
That feels a good time.
his first question was, can we fly down just for hot chicken and back?
Well, you guys have Dave's near you now. At least there's that. I mean, no, it's no Hattie B's. It's no legit, like, Nashville sandwich.
Yeah.
But
Actually, Dave's has what? Nashville hot cauliflower?
yeah, I
you
wanted
have
to
there?
get that last time
That
I was there.
pretty
Oh,
good.
I wasn't hungry enough for it, which I know is weird.
You're not hungry? What?
I am not fat anymore.
No,
I
you're
don't
not
eat
at
that
all, at
much.
all. But that doesn't mean you still don't have the same appetite unless you're on Ozempic.
No, unfortunately, it does mean I don't have the same appetite. It sucks. It really sucks.
It's so sad. It looks so sad.
Jeez.
I am.
Mood's really come down all
I
of a
know.
sudden.
I just want more
All
chicken
because of
sandwiches.
chicken sandwiches.
That's all I want is more. I want the ability to eat more chicken sandwiches again.
Eat more chicken.
You can eat just as many, just not at the same time.
I made that mistake once.
This is what we have to do. We have to plan this so there's a group of us. And then every stop, you can order a chicken sandwich, but divide it into the number of parts of the people that consume meat that are in our group. And then you can experience more chicken sandwiches if you're sharing them with
Cut a
people.
single chicken sandwich into eighths and just hand out to the group.
I mean, I like that idea. I like to sample things. I'd do
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Just saying.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah.
And then those of us that are vegetarian can do the same thing and divide whatever vegetarian goodness the places offer.
There you go.
And now I'm thinking about the
Good plan.
time we recorded at Two Rivers.
Oh God.
Oh,
Just
wow.
Plate after plate of food.
That's one of the saddest things about not recording in person anymore. Well, number one is we don't drink the beer from the source with the people where they made it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But the places that have kitchens and also let us eat their food while we're there.
Yeah, that's always nice.
I was talking about doing this podcast. Ryan Formans did tell me that I should do it in person, but I didn't really feel like I had the place to do that.
Well,
That's fair.
Ryan just encourages you to do it in person because last time he did it virtually with us, they consumed an entire case of hams. So
Oh, they were in like a weird basement
Yes.
too.
Yeah, and somebody also, not one of them, crashed into a phone pole and it knocked out power at one of their houses.
Oh yeah, they
I
lost
think it
power.
was. I think Sam
Oh.
lost
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, it was Sam.
'cause
Sam lost power.
He was gone then,
Yep.
and we just thought he was like done with us and over it. But no, he lost
He's like-
power.
It's like, no, somebody hit a pole and my internet was gone or my power was gone. That's funny. Yeah, the poor
Well,
man's
we're
guys.
out in the middle of
Great
nowhere.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan and James may have been drinking together. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that episode though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a shit
Sounds
show.
right.
See, this just means that we got to do the collab episode of Truth and Poor Man's.
Oh
Right.
my god.
And that would have to be in person.
Yes, definitely in
Yeah.
person and definitely on like a Saturday afternoon. And I need Bridget to drive.
Well, we're taking the train.
Oh, that's true.
There's
We'll
a
take the train. Duh. Yeah. So she
The
can.
train?
I'm seriously going to look up how I can get to Lancaster on the
yeah,
train.
no, that's-
like specifically because I do want to
so
know.
you know, Poor Man's is in Ephrata though. So either
Oh, right.
you're gonna have to get us to pick you up in Lancaster, or you're gonna have to get a ride with Dave. Dave, do you actually live near the brewery, or do you live in Ephrata?
Neither actually. I live actually near Marietta, on like
Oh.
the kind of western side of the county.
Okay, so
the
Dave
move
can
to
pick you up
Lancaster
on the
has
way.
been good for me.
Damn, you're near the bridge and Columbia Kettle Works.
Yep.
Oh, Columbia Kettle Works. Wow.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Another
Yeah,
throwback.
me too. Yeah.
Those guys have gone through a couple expansions now too. They have a
Yeah.
few. Well, the original place is huge now.
Yeah.
There's good guys there too. They gave us some stuff, like some plastic tanks and some random other stuff from their old tap room when we started up. just to be nice and help out.
Very cool.
Would the train station or would the line technically be Amtrak, or is that still?
It is Amtrak.
Okay,
yes.
I wasn't sure if that would still somehow be regional rail.
No, it's Amtrak.
Okay.
No,
Well,
yeah,
it is- we usually take the train from Lancaster to Philly to New York. That's usually like if we're going to Philly,
Yeah.
we usually just drive. But in fact, we just booked more.
so
train tickets.
I'd have to take the train into 30th Street where Amtrak is.
Yeah.
And then get on
Okay.
Amtrak.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Either
so-
way, it's trains all the way.
Right.
If we're doing nothing
We
else
used
on
to-
this podcast, we are encouraging people in the Philly area to come to Truth via the Amtrak.
Also, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Wherever
Well,
you are,
it's super easy.
if you're near a train station and near a train line, take the damn train, because we need people to understand that trains are the better way to travel, so we can get some kind of high-speed rail system in this stupid, antiquated country. God, I'm on a fucking roll tonight.
Really
I'm
on a tear.
so
But I was going to
sorry.
say the same thing, that I would like to encourage people to do more train traveling. I think it would be better for everyone. And it's so cool. You get to look out the window the whole time and see stuff.
I know. One of the only I want to go to Japan for many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is I just want to take a bullet train.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and look out the window.
Look
and
out
see
the
stuff.
window and see all the stuff going by at 300 miles an hour.
Looking at stuff
my
is
God.
like one of my favorite hobbies.
Oh, I thank you for saying that so cleanly into your microphone.
That's a sound clip.
Absolutely. I haven't updated sound clips in at least a year, but there's a growing list.
Now's the time.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is the soundboard app I use, the developer doesn't really do anything with anymore. And at one point, like 8 years ago, Apple changed their file structure for iOS. This is a real techie part. I'm so sorry. Apple
I've
changed
heard
their
this
file
story
structure
before.
for iOS. And developers, you know the betas that they announce every summer? Developers are supposed to do that so their apps work at iOS launch. This
sense.
developer didn't do it and never cleaned it up. So now when I upload audio clips, instead of having an alphabetized list of these audio clips, they're just jumbled all about. So I have to scroll through like 400 clips to find the one that I want to assign to a single button. And it's just too much work.
That sounds bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just create an interface yourself. I'm pretty sure you're smart enough to do that.
So I've never really coded.
Wayne's coded.
Yeah, I actually was learning Python not that long ago.
I
I don't
started
think it would be the right language for that application, but
probably, well, I mean, especially if it's going to be iOS, it should be Swift.
yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Which, I mean, you should learn about considering, you know, Taylor.
Good call.
So if someone takes the train and comes to your brewery, would you give them like $1 off a beer if they show you their train ticket?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
I mean, yeah, I'll have to probably tell the bartenders to do that too because I'm not always there. But you know, sure, why not?
Fair. Also, I don't think physical train tickets are really a thing anymore.
Well, you
you
can
put the
show
thing on the
them the
phone.
ticket on your
Yeah.
phone.
A ticket, an
That's- yeah, we-
itinerary.
We do that with well, I don't know if anybody's taken advantage of it, but with what used to be the Barnstormers baseball team is now the Stormers baseball team. It's about 2 blocks from us. So if anybody comes in and shows their ticket, they get like I forget 20% off food or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
It's
good.
already cheaper beer than the stadium, so they shouldn't be coming anyways.
Fair. It's a good
That's
point.
really awesome.
That's a good
Why
point.
are they not the Barnstormers anymore?
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to, maybe trying to modernize the team or something.
Yeah,
Was that
But
Barnstorming
yeah,
is
they
sort of
just changed. They just rebranded it. Yeah.
When
Sort
the
of a-
Reading Phillies turn to the Fightin' Phils, but they will always be the Reading Phillies.
What does barnstorming mean?
Yep.
Tour rural districts giving theatrical performances. Okay. Often in barns.
Huh.
There you go.
Who would have
Yeah, I
thought?
know.
It is a very old timey
always-
sounding word.
I was gonna say I always thought it was just the process of like the Amish builders like putting up a barn in a day.
Oh, that's actually
But
that's what they
I'm not
should
sure that
call
that's right.
it. That's what they should call it. Barnstorming. That's pretty good. I thought it was a political thing like carpetbagging.
Oh.
I
But
did.
not like
That's what I
that.
thought it was. Yeah.
I
But that's
don't
not
know.
what it is.
Hey, so Saturday the 20th, tickets from Philly to Lancaster are roughly $20.
That's it?
This might
bad
even
at
be a
all.
round trip. This might be coming back
Even better.
too. I'm gonna plan a trip here.
Little
I don't know, like
not little known fact, but something about Amtrak not everybody knows is they're basically YOB. They do not care if you drink on the train.
oh, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Huh. Well, that's good to
I
know.
don't. I should say it's official policy, but I definitely they do not care.
Like they like if you're not causing a problem, they'll let you go. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You're not being wild, crazy, whatever.
Right.
I've
right.
brought beer on the train, but I don't think we've consumed beer on the train.
No.
I've eaten on that
We
train
used to-
many times.
We used to take trips to Philly just to go drinking at breweries and monks.
Mhm.
And yeah, we would just start off and start the day drinking on the train on the way down.
I mean, you got a pregame somewhere. It's $21 each way, so 42
Okay.
total, which still is not
Still
bad.
not bad.
No, that's
Locking
not
it
bad.
away
Not
up
at
here.
all.
I used to pay $18 one way to go from Philly to Reading on the bus.
Yeah, I did the same thing when I was in college, and I think it was around there.
Yeah.
You are allowed to drink on Amtrak if you are in a private sleeping car. Alcoholic beverages can't be consumed in public areas.
All right,
Just-
so don't quote me on that, but they won't care.
Have your own
Yeah, but it's
bottle of
probably fine.
quote-unquote soda. It just happens to be pre-mixed.
Like we have opened a growler and I think poured it into cups and drank, or just opened cans, or just opened bottles. It's all of the things they haven't cared about. But yeah, this is also a few years ago, so maybe they've gotten more strict.
Well, then again, if Amtrak employees are anything like SEPTA employees, which I very much hope not, they just don't care. Even if it's in writing somewhere. How many people do you see smoking on the bus or the train or on the platform?
I actually don't see a lot of people doing that.
Oh God, I do a lot.
Well, I guess if you take like Broad Street line and Market Street line,
Yeah.
those are kind of.
Well, I won't go
spots.
on the L anymore. I just will not.
Oh,
go near
no?
that. No.
I work with a guy that takes the L all the time, and
No.
he's like a skittish guy to begin with,
What
and
the
he's
hell's
just
wrong
like,
with him?
I'm like, how do you survive your commute, dude?
God. Hey, more power to him.
Yeah.
But okay, so we can take the booze on the Amtrak and play it by ear. And nobody's around,
Yeah.
drink. If somebody's around,
Yeah.
carefully drink.
Right.
I
I think
that's
last
the
time
plan.
I drank on a train we took the Eurostar, the one that goes from London to Paris under the couple of years ago.
Oh, that's
I think they
awesome.
serve drinks there and stuff because it's all like fancy. That was cool.
Yeah, I didn't take a train when I was in Europe. We did a bus everywhere. It was still really cool. Got to see a lot of cool stuff, but I feel like we missed out on the train experience because I did.
Yeah, that's the only train I took in Europe. But yeah, it was cool. We got pretty far from beer. We got
I
onto
know.
trains and public
Well,
transportation.
I mean, we
and-
kind of, brought it back.
Surprisingly, a lot
Well,
of
yeah.
trains.
I know we really got into trains.
Everybody loves trains. Everybody loves trains. But yeah, now we know.
I
It's-
love them on the train to visit us.
Yeah, it's cheap and easy to get from Philly to Lancaster, and if you're right there, just walk on over and stumble back to the stop.
And as Dave has, many people in the Lancaster area will take the train to Philly to drink all day. But
Yeah.
why not, if you're in Philly, come to Lancaster to drink all day? Because there's
Yeah.
some amazing breweries
Absolutely.
in Lancaster.
Sure.
Oh God.
Oh, what happened? Uh-oh. What is that? Oh,
Nice.
there it is. Coors Light. Coors Light has arrived.
This is what happens when the brewery's only 20 minutes from our house. It is cold, yes. So for the
That is-
people,
that
did you
stuff
say it?
Yeah.
I know, sometimes I forget we're a podcast and not a visual.
No, I said it, but I don't know if it wasn't
We
clear.
got cans of Pours Light.
Pours Light.
That is the new light lager from Poor Man's Brewing. Yes, you can turn a light on.
You're gonna have a real time review.
Let's see.
Yeah. Does it taste like Coors Light?
Oh, it's good. It has the subtle
So no.
sweetness that you would expect. You know what? I don't know if I could tell you if it tastes like Coors Light because I can't remember the last time I've had a Coors Light.
Yeah, me either. Honestly.
I have had many Miller Lights because usually if I go to a venue, for example, and the only craft they have is an IPA, I usually don't want to drink IPAs when I'm at an event, and I'll just order a Miller Light. And usually
it's
they
fine.
have it in the 8,000-ounce can that you have to drink at the right temperature or the right speed so it stays a
Stays the right
decent drinking temperature. Because nothing's worse than getting to the bottom and drinking warm Miller Light.
Yeah,
It's lovely.
I bet.
nice. I haven't had that one yet.
I
Yeah,
had
now I
it
have to make
before
special
Dave.
Taffreda.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, part of me for a second thought you were going to try to hand him a can through Zoom. Your hand just went
Wouldn't that
like
be
you're
nice?
you're next to each other on my screen. I thought you were just like, oh, here you go.
It's like,
Like you guys planned this earlier, and Dave, you were going to reach off camera and grab one too, and my mind would have been blown.
like, what?
What
How
happened?
did you do this?
Oh, Chef was there too?
Oh,
Oh, Chef and the family were there too.
ah,
Aw.
This is my favorite thing about the Lancaster County beer scene. Like, you guys not only all get along and support each other in business, but you all go and to each other's breweries and drink and eat and hang out. And I love that. Like, I remember going to Cartel's soft opening.
Great.
And like the amount of industry people from the Lancaster area that were there is just like, and the same was when Poor Man's had their soft opening. Like, there is a camaraderie that, like, I feel like used to exist more widely in the beer industry, but it's like, it's diminishing a little bit, but not in Lancaster County. And I hope that's true, Dave. You could be looking at me like she's crazy and she sees it from the outside.
Yeah,
and thinks
that's totally right. We have the Brewers Guild, which almost everybody's heard of in Lancaster County. That is like every 3 months, they have a meeting. We're all sharing, ideas and, all kinds of things that we try and do all together. But yeah, like you said, just the support from people coming out, even just to your brewery, and being willing to. Somebody will, say like, "Hey, my order got messed up, and I don't have this grain I need to brew tomorrow." And somebody will be like, "Oh, I have that. Yeah, here, come by and get the bag." And we've gotten help like that from Poor Man's, from Mad Chef, from at least those two.
It's kind of
it's just it's a great scene to be part of.
I'm really glad to hear that that's still the case, because in my brain I just assumed that after COVID, especially with like supply chain issues and inflation, that nobody would be willing to help anybody. That ingredients like this would be the gold that you need to hold on to.
Yeah, I think everybody has gotten a little anxious, maybe is the word.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little more worried about everything, but we're still willing to help each other out because we're all kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Me, at least, that's how I feel about it.
No, that's great. And you mentioned the boat, and Lord knows we've said this many, many, many times, but the rising tide lifts all boats, If you're able to keep good beer on tap because Poor Man's helped you out with an ingredient, then chances are people are going to stop at both places, or like they'll be around and close enough that they could, or, wherever. It's just, I'm really glad to hear that that's still a thing, because I was really worried that wasn't. And maybe it is just Lancaster. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's not as widespread as it used to be. I'm not sure. We have friends, in a few other places too, like that just randomly have helped us out, like the guys at Warwick Farm.
Oh, nice.
I talked to them, talked to Ryan, another Ryan. At Warwick, before we ever opened, we were looking at a farm spot, and he called me, was like, "All right, you're going to do this, here's what you need." And we ended up not doing it. But we've been down there a couple of times and out, and it's been just a great time too. And there's certain people, at least everywhere, it still seems like are willing to be like that.
No, that's good. That's really good. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, in the spirit of good spirits, shall we play a game?
Good spirits.
Yes.
Do you want to play a game?
I think we should play a game.
I would love to play a game.
We can play a game.
Is it libation or fabrication?
No, but it's not. It's not far off.
I was gonna say, you did mention you signed into our Untapped earlier.
Yeah, I was on Untapped earlier. That's true. Yeah, well, I've realized whenever I make a game where I have to invent fake names, usually libation or fabrication, though today's game is slightly different, the best place to check to see if it already exists is Untapped. Because if you just Google it, you have to filter through a lot of crap.
Right.
But if it's not on Untapped, it doesn't exist. That's like the gold
that's
standard.
what we do when we come up with a beer name. Search that Untapped. If it's not there, or if it's a home brewer or whatever,
exactly,
we're like, we can still use that.
I follow the same rules for libation or fabrication. I don't include home brews because then like every word, every possible combination of every set of English words already has been used to name a beer if you include homebrews. Anyway, that's not what we're playing.
Spellings, made up words. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cheers, Internet. All dark and scary roads lead to happy fun time games. Today, we are playing a game that we've played once or twice before that I like to call Brewery or Forgery.
Thank God it's not anagrams.
That's where my brain goes right away too.
I will not do anagrams. I like anagrams and nobody else does.
Yeah, you're weird.
That's okay. That's okay.
Dave likes Thoreau, so maybe he's good at anagrams.
Maybe he's good at
I don't know.
I don't know. But the game we're playing today is Brewery or Forgery, and it's basically libation or fabrication, but with breweries instead of beers. So I'm going to tell you the name of something. You have to tell me if it's really the name of a brewery or if it's fake. Pretty simple, straightforward. And we begin, as we most often do, with Dan. Our first brewery of the game. Is this real or is this fake? This brewery is called Fish in the Percolator Beer Company.
I am gonna go fake.
All right, Dan is saying fake. Steph?
Fish in the percolator?
Yes.
Okay, you don't often start off with a fake, but that can't be real.
I know, right?
You're saying fake?
I'm going to say fake too.
All right, 2 fakes so far. Dave, you going to agree or disagree with my colleague?
I think I'm going to agree. I think it is also fake.
Everybody's saying fake. Everybody is correct. That one is in fact fake. Yes, it is not a brewery, but is in fact a quote from the cult classic Twin Peaks that has been just floating around in my head for several decades. There are, however, at least 2 beers on Untappd called Fish in the Percolator or some variation thereof. So there are beers with this name. Once again, it's much harder to come up with fake names for beers than it is for breweries. But Fish in the Percolator, not a brewery from Twin Peaks. Fellas, don't drink that coffee. You'll never guess there was a fish in the percolator. You have to watch it. It's funny. Moving on. Everybody had that one correct. Steph is going to guess first on our next one. Tell me, is this a real brewery or is it fake? This is called Captured by Porches.
Captured by torches?
Porches.
Porches?
Yeah, like where you sit in the front of your house.
Yeah.
Front of my house. That way.
I don't have one of those.
Not
That's another really long name for a brewery.
It's 3 words. One of them's 2 letters.
Well, I don't see you doing 2 fakes in a row, but maybe this whole game is fakes.
Listen, if all the answers
But I
were going to be
could
the
see-
same, they would be real because that's easier to do.
See, fish in the percolator, that turns you off. That does not make you want to drink beer. So that would be a stupid name for a brewery. But captured by porches, I can see because you're like, come on in, enjoy a beer on our porch. Like that sounds like a pleasant thing to happen to you. I'll say real.
All right, saying that is
And I
real.
overanalyzed it, so I'm probably wrong.
No, but when you talked about like the cat, like that, I was imagining like the siren song leading sailors to their doom on the rocks of the islands.
Oh, Jesus. So does
Dave,
that
do you
mean
think
I
it's
should say fake?
Too late? You already said real. Dave, do you think it's real or fake?
Steph kind of talked me into it. I think it's real.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all right. Steph was very persuasive. Dan, what do you think?
I'm gonna buck the trend and say fake, but if it's real, I really hope that the tap room is just like a bunch of different vignettes. Vignettes
literally a brewery of
Right, exactly.
porches.
That's where my brain went. Instead of full
full
of
of
couches,
couches.
it's full of porches. It's just a bunch of porches. You can go sit on a swing over here, an Adirondack chair over there. Maybe this one's got
Right?
a fucking solo stove.
It sounds
Not a sponsor.
inviting.
Not bad.
It's also real.
Damn it!
Where?
So, Captured by Porches is a brewery and maltster in Portland, Oregon.
That makes so much goddamn sense.
They purchase all their barley and hops
Yep.
from local farms and do their own malting in-house. It seems like a really cool place, but I couldn't find where the name actually came from. I don't know. It just seems like a cool kind of hippie-ish place in Portland.
But do
Captured
they
by
have porches?
Porches. I didn't see
looks like it.
a plethora of porches. Steph is going to
Like,
fact
how
check
are you
that.
captured by them? Hog
Because
tie?
you walk by and you see the porch and
See,
you're like,
I would say that
You're-
would be
you're
captivated.
drawn
You are
in.
captivated by porches. then.
Captivated by porches.
but
but
not
it's
captured.
not called captivated by porches.
I know, and therefore
No, it's called Kidnapped by the Stoop.
By the-
You could be captivated without going in.
Wait, it's
That's
like
true.
a.
That is true.
It looks like a food truck with taps on the side of it. There's no porch.
Or maybe,
Well, it
maybe
definitely
you're-
wasn't always a food truck because I definitely saw.
I mean,
All right,
do
sorry.
they
I
have
am
like a?
holding up the game?
Do they have a mobile brewery truck? Like I know we've seen Southern Tier do that at events, but granted, that's Southern Tier.
No, the front page of the website. So their website is like one of those like Weebly sites that. I mean, no offense to these people that just like don't look great. But like they're really easy to set up if you don't know what you're doing. So that's probably why they did it.
Oh,
But the main picture is like a dude driving a forklift with like bags of grain on it in like a parking lot. So it's a very
Hell
DIY kind of place.
Yep, I see that. But when I did
They're
a
located
Google
in
image
boring.
search, the main pictures that came up were like this red food truck looking thing that had taps on the side of it.
Oh, well, maybe they do that too. I don't know. Or maybe they've transitioned to that. Anyway, we are moving on to the penultimate brewery of the game. And Dave, you are up to guess first on this one. This is called Bad Brewing. Real or fake?
That's real. Somebody's got to have done that.
Dave is saying it is real. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to say real for the same reason.
All right, also saying real. We've got 2 reals so far. Steph, what do you think?
I like the shortness of the name.
Okay.
It's also possible that it could be an acronym for something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to think of it as like Michael Jackson bad and not like your beer is bad. So I'm also going to say real.
Everybody's saying real. Very good reasons from Steph there. Everybody is correct. It is, in fact, real. It is a self-proclaimed badass microbrewery in Mason, Michigan. Their tap list includes a variety of craft beers, hard ciders, hard seltzer, and seltzer slushies, all brewed in-house. So bad and bad brewing is all caps, BAD. So it must be an acronym, but I couldn't find what it's supposed to be an acronym for. So I don't know. Who knows?
Right. It's obviously bad ass, and then there's a D.
Badass dudes.
That works.
That would be really bad.
Yeah. I mean, the B could be brew or brewing or beer.
It's true.
Beer and donuts.
Oh,
maybe they also sell donuts. Beer
Good.
and donuts brewing.
Oh, that's not fair.
We
Another
found our food
idea.
concept.
Food concept, I'm telling you.
Well,
That
I mean,
is a pretty good
in a
one.
way.
Rhino nuggets and donuts?
True, especially if you have good donuts. I do have to say though, Rogue kind of did the donut thing. They didn't do donuts per se, but they did the Voodoo collab.
Yeah, and one of the best beers ever came from that.
Babe.
You
Great
mean
vape.
you mean Dimetap?
You mean time?
You know how much I love Diamond Tap. I will not lie about that.
I love you dearly, Steph, but I will never fucking understand that.
And it's funny because I do not like I'm not a big fruited beer fan. I am not a big adjunct beer drinker. I don't like pastry stouts. Like usually that kind of beer I don't like. But you give me a grape ape, I will drink that entire
fake old grape
bottle.
taste.
Yep.
There's just something about it.
Nothing close to a real grape anywhere in sight.
Well, it's funny. Somebody was just talking
Nothing
about,
grape flavored tastes like actual grapes.
I know.
Well, we were talking about grape flavored something, and I was like, well, does it taste like real grapes or is Dimetap grape? And they looked at me like I was crazy. Anyway.
Nothing but bad memories of Dimetap. Nothing but bad memories.
Exactly.
I don't really have many memories of Diamond Tap. And I've never had grape ape, so I don't know.
Yes, you did. We drank it on the show.
Did we?
That's where this all started.
I thought you guys just argued about it. I didn't think we actually drank it.
No, we
I thought you guys
recorded in the
both
basement
separately
here.
had it. Oh, okay. That's not how I remembered the
Oh,
events.
maybe this is a Mandela effect. Who knows?
I was just going to say that. It's a Mandela effect.
Berenstain Bears.
Maybe I did have it. I had lots of beers that I forgot.
Berenstain grapes.
We have come to the final brewery
Mercifully.
of the game. Mercifully, we have come to the final brewery of the game. So we're going to recap the scores. See where we're at. See where we are at. Steph and Dave, perfect showing so far. 3 out of 3, every single one correct. Dan, only slightly behind with 2. So we're going to let Dan guess last, so he gets to hear your guesses before he goes, since he is trailing. So we'll begin again with Steph, our final brewery of the game. Is it real? Is it fake? It is called Duct Tape and Blind Faith.
Maybe we didn't have it on the show. Because when I Google our website with it,
You're stalling.
an article that Dan wrote about it comes up from 2016. But unless we had it and it wasn't when you listed all the beers we drank at the bottom of the page like you used to.
Check your Untapped. Because when you would check them in when we did them on the show, you would put episode whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to take a minute. Okay. Say it again. Something about duct tape.
Duct tape and blind faith.
I'll say real.
Steph saying that one is real. Dave, what do you think?
I really want it to be real, but I think it's fake.
Okay. That happens a lot in these games. Want it to be real, but I think it's fake. Dan, we got a real, we've got a fake. So
I love it.
honestly, the best you can do is tie if you are also correct, because one of them is also going to be correct. So that's all you can hope for.
I'm going to say fake.
Saying it is fake, and that was the best choice you could have made because it is, in fact, fake. It is not a brewery, but it is likely what holds many of them together.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
We've come to the end of the game, so let's check the scores quick and see who our big winner is today. And it is our guest, Dave, with an absolutely perfect score.
Bravo,
All
bravo.
4 correct.
Got it.
4 questions asked, 4 questions answered. What are we looking at? Is this a check-in? Voodoo Donut?
This is Dan's check-in. He gave it 0.75 stars.
I usually
It deserved
what does it say?
less.
I said, I usually don't rate beers, but fuck, this is worse than shitty cough syrup.
I was generous with that rating. I am a benevolent beer podcaster.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think I've had it. I think I was correct.
You checked it in on March 18th, and I checked it in on December 3rd of 2016.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
okay.
so we didn't have it
Okay.
together.
So we did not have it together.
All right.
Okay, so Wayne's memory is the best.
That doesn't. No, well, in this particular instance, it doesn't often happen. So yes, our big winners day with a perfect score of 4. Dan and Steph each have 3 out of 4 correct. Everybody showing very well in today's Happy Fun Time game. And this is, of course, the part of the podcast where we shout out to our most generous patrons on Patreon. We would like to thank the following individuals from the very bottom of our hearts, beginning with Jen McDonald,
I hope it was Whitesnake.
Eric Dixon,
And the pickles.
Dana,
Nailed it.
James Lamberg,
Oh.
Chris Mahoney,
Pay my annual fee, motherfucker.
Sean Sullivan,
I can't find what I want to find.
Shit balls.
Well, there's that.
Brian Mills,
Yes. Hey, I'm Batman.
Jill Chivers,
Well, then it's a fart.
the one and only that is absolutely no baloney, Joe Mansell,
Peanuts.
Topher Simmons,
We cook in a closet?
and finally Ben Mangle.
This glass is amazing.
That's a good one. If you want to find out how you can get on this list and all the other cool behind-the-scenes perks that come with being a patron of the podcast, go to patreon.com/beerbuster.
Just looked, and duct tape and blind faith is not even a beer, so I think it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yes!
There we go. You got your next one.
And that is the truth.
I would also like to point out, I'm still on the Captured by Porches website. If you go to their tab that just says where, it's where you can
That's
buy
funny,
it,
isn't it?
but it just says how to get captured by Porches. But then it just lists like neighborhoods of Portland where you can get it, just north or northwest or northeast or southeast.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Did you see the
it-
name?
it's
Did you
their
see the
finder.
name of the town they're actually in?
No, which one is it?
They're in
Wait.
Boring, Oregon.
Oh no.
Oh, really? I didn't catch that. I
Oh.
should have.
Oh,
I would have
that
put that in the
makes-
game if I'd seen that.
So I
That's funny.
really want to email them and see if they'll be on the show.
Yeah, like I kind of don't want to make fun of the website because they actually seem like it seems like a pretty cool little operation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the website's like, but it's a website. Who cares?
Well,
don't know.
Google claims they're open.
Let's give them a
That's what I
call.
was wondering because all the posts I saw were quite old too.
I don't know. There's a button here that says "Call me."
For real?
Should you?
Wait, where do you see call me? I see email me.
It's only
If you go-
Email
it's only
me.
5:30 there.
Yeah,
That's
right.
a good point.
It's under "What's Now,"
What's now?
which is a great name for the section of a website. What's now?
Currently available.
Currently
Available in
available.
both bottle and keg, unless otherwise noted. Call me. Chocolate vanilla stout. Okay, I'm listening. That doesn't.
Invasive species IPA.
I'm not going to try to pronounce the next one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was.
Is it Swedish?
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil Julol.
Weirdly, that word looks kind of familiar. To
It
me.
actually kind of does.
Yeah, like it's
You know what? It sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings.
it's the Norse tree of life. So you've probably heard it before.
Okay.
It's like a Nordic
Oh, yeah. I hate to admit, I know that from a video
mythology
game.
thing. From what?
And
A video
they
game.
have a similar backstory. It says, crap, I should have pointed at it. The brewer, through inventiveness, sheer beer knowledge, and good old Craigslist, started a homebrewing club.
I clicked on their about page. Is that on there somewhere?
No, I'm on a Portland food and drink article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The website itself doesn't have a ton of information. There's probably more.
Okay, and it says the name started out as a joke. People would just come over and end up hanging out on the porch and brewing and drinking. They would stay. What's the motivation to leave? So when it came to start going legit, then the name was obvious, captured by Porches.
There you go.
Got to the bottom of it.
Yeah. I only had to find a 15-year-old article.
I mean, I could have dug that deep, and my apologies, I did not.
It's an intriguing name. It gets you talking about it. So
it does.
It's true. It
I think
works.
it sounds cool, and it makes me think of Guided by Voices.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
I can see it. I can see it.
Yes.
But enough about porches.
Yes.
So Dave, what's next for truth? That's a meta sentence. Oh, that was weird.
Yes.
Well, he's getting up on
How do we
Monday and
answer?
brewing some beer.
Yeah.
Well, soon we're going to be brewing some beer. We moved the brewery from Akron to Lancaster. We have the whole PLCB process of transferring our license that doesn't allow us to brew until it's approved. We just got that approval this week. So we have a little bit more setup to do in the back. Hopefully we're brewing within a week or two now.
Very cool.
But yeah, we're going to have new beers coming out, some IPAs, some other stuff. We have a lime cucumber beer that we do each year now. That was it was a top 10 Lidditz homebrew winner for us. We got to serve it at the Lidditz homebrew tent at their Lidditz Craft Beer Fest in 2016, I think.
I think I remember hearing about that beer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like.
Yeah, we made it last year. It went out pretty well.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I didn't like cucumbers at the time, and now I do. I love them, so I would very much like to try that.
They're such
like
an
a
innocuous
cucumber beer.
vegetable.
I know, but I hated them. I was an idiot. I know.
Technically, it's a fruit.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because it's
the seeds in it.
Yep.
It's got a bit of a strong flavor, but it's a little heavier on the lime than the cucumber, but it's pretty, people have liked it a lot, actually.
It
Sounds
sounds
good.
refreshing AF.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would drink that.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to still get that one out, before summer is too far gone.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have a minute to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Lidditz Craft Beer Fest, which is always a spectacular fest and quite well attended. But I just saw yesterday that AC canceled. The AC Beer
Yeah.
Fest, Music Fest, was canceled because of low ticket sales.
Yeah, I had a
Really?
ticket to the show. Actually, a friend of mine bought his ticket, couldn't go, and gave it to me because I gave him a ticket to, I forget which concert. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was excited to go because I wanted to see the Menzingers again. But yeah, low ticket sales. And I got to give the fest organizers credit. They were very transparent about what happened and why they were canceling. There was no beating around the bush. Huh. I appreciated the transparency, and I'm glad I didn't book a hotel. But honestly, this could be why ticket sales weren't that great. So they did the 2 sessions for, I guess, what Saturday was going to be, one in the morning, one at night. The night one was going to be 6 to 10. So clearly you're going to want to get a hotel. Showboat, the shitty Showboat, $400 for a night.
Is that where we stayed?
That is
when
where
did
we
it?
stayed.
Yeah.
They renovated
so
some
cheap.
of it. The rooms are still garbage. It's not worth it. We stayed there
Yeah,
last year. We went
shit.
to Adjacent Fest, and we paid like $200 for 2 or 3 nights because that's all it was worth. Yeah.
It's a shame. I'm just, it seems like more and more beer fests are going by the way of just not happening anymore because they do seem to be less attended than in the past. But this was a pretty big one. 2 weeks, like a little more than 2 weeks out to cancel.
Oh, wow.
I thought that, but like Lidditz Craft Beer Fest has been well attended for quite some time, and I mean, it used to be they sold out tickets like as soon as they went on sale. I don't know that it's quite
Yeah, it
that
used to sell out
dramatic.
quick. I don't think
But-
it's quite. I don't think it's quite as fast now. They did go down to I think just one session, one day now,
Mhm.
as of last year. But last year it was still really, really well attended from what we saw, at least. And then that one and the Lancaster Craft Beer Fest that's coming back for the first time since I think 2019
Wow.
is the only two that we have on our calendar right now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Ephrata they didn't do theirs is usually this time of year. Ephrata Beer Fest.
Oh, at the Whistle Stop.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it. I just kind of forgot. But yeah, I didn't hear anything about that happening.
Actually, yeah, I
Maybe
just kind of
it's-
forgot too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we usually see something every year. Yeah, that's a good point. Huh. That'd be a bummer. That was always a cool one too.
That was a good time. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
last time they wanted us to record there, we weren't able to. It didn't line
Yeah.
up with any of our schedules, I think. But yeah, that was always that was more of an intimate fest. Well, and it's funny, we joked about how we'd be able to have the after party at Poor Man's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Now that they have the spot on Main Street there.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
I don't particularly enjoy doing beer fests anymore. It's just like a lot of people and way too much beer to consume in a short amount of time, which I don't like doing anymore.
I
and
still don't understand how you did log jamming.
I won't be doing it again. Not that it wasn't an amazing freaking fest.
I bet it was.
So much fun. The beer was amazing. So many fun people there. You know, great to connect with people I haven't seen in forever. But it's just too much. I can't. I can't.
It is. Yeah. Well, when I went last year, it was a great time. But yeah, it's a lot. It certainly is.
The only thing I don't under log jamming is how is Poor Man's not a log jamming the log
Yeah,
fest.
and I
a
have
good
said
point,
that many
yeah.
times, and I'm not the only one that has said that. And yeah, they definitely need to be there because they make some of the best loggers. Period.
Yeah, definitely.
Great, for sure.
Yeah. So, Dave, if people want to learn more about Truth, where should they go?
Well, we have our Instagram, Facebook, Untapped is all at Truth Beer Co. And then our website is truthbeercompany.com. We'll find a lot more current info on Instagram, Facebook. The website will have the tap list and the menu and stuff like that. But actually, there's linked there too. But
Cool. And then I guess when you have the food truck schedule figured out, that'll be on one of or all of the places. I guess Instagram, to me, would make
yeah,
more
on
sense.
Instagram that was I just posted July today.
Oh, cool.
On there, so we got our first calendar for the food trucks on there, just as of today.
Very nice. Hot off the presses. Well, I mean, this episode's going to air in like 2 weeks. So as of recording, hot off the presses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would like to
Listening
say
this, you missed a couple trucks.
Yes.
I would also like to suggest that another place people would like to go if they're looking for truth is to look within yourself.
There's
the
another.
people
That's a
to-
good beer name.
People to come here and find your truth.
There you
know?
go. There you go. There you go.
But you don't necessarily need to announce it to the world. It is okay to keep it to yourself too sometimes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And go on the Amtrak app and get a ticket and come to Lancaster.
Yes.
Apparently $21 one way, depending on the time. Good to know.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a bad deal at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just think about what you'd pay in gas and tolls.
Actually, yeah, the tolls alone are probably $10-15, give or take, depending on what.
It's between 12 and 13 if you have Easy Pass to
Yeah.
go from the Reading exit to King of Prussia.
Yeah,
and
because
back
it's
again.
like 6 and change.
Yeah.
One way.
Yeah. What? And not to mention the cost is you have to drive.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a
that's
train
it.
and just sit there.
Yeah, just sit there, zone
You
out,
just sit
read,
there.
read a book.
And you could drink and not worry about it.
You could look at things.
Yeah, you can
like
also
Wayne
take the
likes to
train
do.
back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Which
exactly.
that's an important part.
That is the
Yes.
important part.
Yes.
Yes, that is the important part.
Yes, it's all
Yeah,
about-
you can plug your laptop in and you can work on coding an app for your sound clips for your podcast.
Yeah, for the general population, that is a sentence that applies.
Well, maybe someone out there knows how to do it and they can do it for you and we can give them like $50 in a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Coors Light.
Yes,
Coors Light.
of Coors
Coors
Light.
Light.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, if anybody out there is a developer and can make this app, let me know. Dan at beerbusterspodcast.com, because I would genuinely like an app that works and I can use and I can keep updating, because there's a lot of clips that just don't get played because I don't like dealing with this app anymore.
I'm
$50
having deja vu.
a 6-pack, and we will do free advertising on the podcast.
Okay.
Look at that. Perfect. I hope that would be worth it for whoever would make it. But yeah, let me know. Dan at beerbusterspodcast.com. That would be great. It would be fun. And, you know, we were on the topic of social media out there when we said it at the top of the show, but I'll mention it again while you were also out there following along with Truth. You can follow us, Instagram and Threads. We're at Beer Busters. Facebook, we are Beer Busters Podcast. There's beerbusterspodcast.com. Don't forget to go to the shop while you are there. YouTube, we're Beer Busters Podcast, and there's patreon.com /beerbusters, or, you know, the app as well. Little as $1 a month gets you access to cool behind-the-scenes stuff, all the videos that were from the before times, but they're worth looking at because those punishment videos were a lot of fun. And I think in the Zoom days, that is one of the biggest things I miss, because that was so much fun to record.
Yeah, doing those punishments was fun. It was a lot of work to edit them, but they were fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. Man, this was great. Thank you for helping us spread the truth, Dave.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And we learned that it's easy to get from Philly to Lancaster and cheap on the train. So that was a valuable life lesson for, I mean, I'd say everybody, really just me. No, I'm looking forward to making that trip. I'm dying to try the beers. I really am.
Nice, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, no one else. At least you guys should make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nobody else goes,
yeah,
at least we will.
Exactly. Well, I think, unfortunately, this brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. This is great. I knew it would be. And Steph, you said it yourself. You said it the best. The Lancaster beer community is just so full of cool, amazing people, and this is just another in the trend of that, and I love it. And Dave, thank you again for joining us, man.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me on, and a great time just chatting with you.
Likewise.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. Well, and of course, thank you for listening. Feel free to give us a rating and review on your podcast app of choice. Do that for all the shows. I'm Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
This should be no surprise. I messed up the timing of the outro clip. We'll see you next time.
I can't hear the music anyway, so it's fine.